Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the AltTrader Indicator. So today we're going to be discussing the XRP USDT perpetual futures contracts on Binance, and as always, if you could give us a like, subscribe and hit that notification bell and keep up to date with our videos. Let's get started. Okay, so today we are looking at XRP. A few things with this. So we are currently on Power 100 on the 15-minute chart. This is kind of highlighting the potential gains that you could make. So if you're looking to scalp XRP off one of the flags that our software brings up, then what you can kind of measure is, let's say if you're looking for a 1% gain or a 2% gain on your trades, depending on your leverage as well. So for instance here, at the long at the beginning of April, we could have rode this up to 11%. So anywhere between 1 and 11% would have been available for you. So for instance, let's say you're looking for 2% gains on your moves, then essentially you can see here that it hit that pretty fast. And then you can see here on the next day, so again, if you're looking for more, you can essentially come up here, click settings and change your power to say 40. What this will do is it'll bring up different flags for you and potentially more flags to catch more gains. So we'll change this back to 100. This seems to be quite consistent. So we've just checked these out. So let's move up to here. So short, you could have caught anywhere from 7%. And again, if you're only looking for 2-3% gains, then obviously you'd be in the money now, consistent as well at the beginning of the month. This is probably one of the biggest gains that the AltTrader Indicator has caught. We're looking at an 83% move, and this obviously is from the 4th to the 7th, so it's a longer time frame. But let's say you were looking at 2%. Here's your 2%. That would have been hit quite quick. 5 hours, 2% gain. 9 hours, 14%. And again, with this, you could have moved your stop loss. So let's say you hit your 2% and then you moved your stop loss to say 1%, 1% from your initial buy-in. And again, once it hit the 2%, you could, or 3%, you could easily move that up to 2% and keep moving your stop loss. Here you can see it goes up to 14%, so you might want to keep it down around about, I don't know, maybe you're happy with a 5% gain. So at that rate, you could have easily got there on the 5th, so within the day. So you start with a 5% stop loss now, and so even if it does come close to it, you would obviously be in the money, and obviously you would miss these kind of slight drops. And again, with the close of the candlestick being all the way here, that flag would have registered, so you would have jumped in around about here anyway. So depending on your trading style and depending on what type of trading you're looking at doing, so if you're a swing trader, this might have been something that you could have caught the whole thing of. And again, you can see here there's some flags that pop up a short and a long. But essentially, let's say you decided to, you saw the short flag come up from your initial position and the short flag closed around about there. So that's a 51% gain. So let's say you finally close your trade here and then all of a sudden you get another long, which is here. You would have not taken the short. Potentially you would have closed it because you could see it going down, but then all of a sudden there's another long, at which if you would have jumped in and traded, you would have got another 12 up to 12% there. So this here is a massive gain, and what this software is allowing you to do is essentially gain higher percentage gains than just say, you know, if you're scalping and whatnot. Obviously this would have been a consistent type of been watching and kind of keeping and monitoring the trade. However, if you'd already got to within the first day, so within, I mean, even within 8 hours, you're up kind of like 4%. So you would have already been in the money, and at that point, you would have just essentially been, you moved your stop loss to say 1%. So even if it did drop below that, you still would have gained an additional 1%. profit, which is more than what you were looking for in the beginning. So here's another short. This one is 11%. So again, if you're looking for 2 to 3% moves on a higher leverage, you can see there you would have easily got that, and that's within sort of 6 hours, let's say. And here's another one which is interesting. So you can see we have our long here and closed about there. Now overall this rose to 54%, but we have a short that comes in here. So let's say the short closes, I mean even here, so you got up to 10%. So let's say at this point you might have gone and stuck your, I don't know, stop loss at 9%. So after this kind of candle hits, eventually on the following candle you would have been down to 9%, but you can imagine the gain there, especially even if you're on a 10x leverage with a 10% gain. So here's a short again, so you might have continued to try and ride it, and then there's a short, so you sell out here, which was around about 4%. But then again, here's another long that again corrects the initial flag, and you can ride this up to essentially 43%. Now if you can see, there is some consistency here in terms of the trending of where the chart is heading. So again, this is easy, another 80-90% move, and in between them trades is a short and a long. So let's say you rode this initial long up to the sort of 40% mark, and better yet, you rode it to around about 25% with that short that comes in. That short comes in, realistically you don't see anything up until around about here. So on gains you might have got about 1%, but then again here comes the long, that if you didn't really get anything off that short, or let's say you broke even, and it kind of, because it kind of levels out here, so it doesn't really have any doesn't have much volatility. And then you can see here that the long pretty much brings you up to 40%, and then there's a short that comes in, perfect timing. You can catch here another 12% move, so 3 to 5% gains on these here. You can see the consistency in this, and again, you're not going to get every single trade, and no software should say that you would win every single trade. However, the fact that by this point where you kind of get a little bit kind of volatility, and there's a lot of longs and short flags coming through, by this point you could have been up 30-40% overall, and these small potential losses that you could have got, I mean that one you can ride up to 4%. So if you're looking for a 2% gain, you won that one. This one you potentially would have lost depending on your stop loss, and also you can see here that eventually it does drop down to about 15%. So as we always say, don't trade every single flag. You're not going to be winning every single trade, so the last thing you want to do is lose the large moves that you got initially. Here's another 30% drop there. So you can see kind of the consistency in the software, and again, trying out different methods. So you might want potentially more flags in a shorter time frame, so you're only looking for kind of really small moves. And you can see again, so for instance here's a long, so we would have jumped in around about there, and you could have got a 6% move. And here's a short again, 18% all the way down to 30%, and you can see here's a long, so these are smaller moves, 8%, but they're still massive in comparison to, say, the stock market. And here's a short, it does go up first, however you eventually get a drop down to about 6%, another short here, and you can see here, so this is on power 20. I wouldn't recommend it, because you can see every kind of movement tracks has a flag that kind of gives you an indication of the movement in it, which is it's going up and down, but the moves are so minuscule that it's kind of not worth. I mean, again, if you're doing sort of 20x 30x leverage, then these moves will be perfect for you. 1.4% move there, and even up to date right now, So we're sat on this long. If you would have got in, you would already be up to 17.5%. You may have only ridden it up to 8%. Better yet, even 2-3%. So mess around with the software. Obviously, if you've got any questions, reach out to us. We'll be happy to help. And all these, can I just add as well, all these flags would essentially have paid off your monthly fee for the indicator or the signals that you receive through AltSignals. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about investing in this, that within kind of the first couple of trades, you've paid off the price of the alt trader indicator, which is cheap, and you can find all the information out on our website. And also that the consistent profits that would come after that. So you could be up anywhere from, say, a couple hundred to a couple thousand within a month, and you've paid off the indicator for the year, let's say, even in your first month of trading. And again, you don't need to be an expert. As you can see, we're kind of looking at where these flags are, looking at whether or not it's going up or down overall. So if we went to a 4-hour chart, what is the trend looking like? Is there any particular consistencies in the market here, so we can kind of get an idea of where it's heading, and again, is there anything in particular that you want to be looking out for? So again, the power will depend on your time frame. So obviously I've changed it to a 4-hour, and you can already see there's minimum flags. But again, if you was to do this on a 4-hour chart and you would have jumped in here and rode that up to here, that's 319%. Let's say you stopped out on the next flag, so that's still 178% move. And then if we went from the short, this rocks down to 30 odd percent, and let's say you want to get in on the next long, so you would have been out. But as you can see, like even in this case, maybe you would have kind of got out around about here, 12% move. And again, this one is currently on a 13% move. So you can see the consistency, and again, mess around with the time frames, mess around with the power, and kind of back test a particular coin that you want to be trading on, and then kind of, once you feel comfortable with the power and the flags and knowing when and where you're going to be placing your trades, you should have some great results to send us, which would be great in terms of the kind of gains that you've got from the alt trader indicator. So as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and visit our website at altsignals.io for more information, and you'll find the link in the description as well. And we'll see you in the next video.